Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on how to wear a nude lip. So right now I'm wearing the Kylie liner in Exposed, and I'm wearing Mariah Carey McKizzle on the outside and Darling on the inside. So I kind of created a nude ombre look, and my eyes are kind of a shimmery purple tone. So if you want to see how I did this look, just stay tuned. So I'm going to start off by moisturizing my face with vitamin E oil. Then I'm going to go in on top of that with the Photo Loving Primer by NYX. And then I'm going to use this Rimmel Stay Matte foundation in the color True Ivory. And using this Tarte brush, I got it in a gift set last year for Christmas, I'm just going to apply that all over my face and down to my neck. Next I'm going to go in with this New York Color Cover Stick. I think it's in the lightest shade. And I'm going to put this under my eyes in a sort of triangle at the bottom of my chin and on the top of my nose, and creating a little sort of star thing on my forehead. I like to go on top of this with a NYX concealer just to kind of create a little more of a liquidy feel, because that NYC cover stick is really thick and really kind of dry. So I like to go in on top of that with a more liquidy concealer. Now I'm just blending it out with my beauty blender. I usually get it a little bit damp just because that makes it glide in the rest of my skin easier. So I'm just going to blend it all out, blend until I go to my Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D. I'm going to use these top 3 shades all together on this Laura Mercier kind of sponge thing. I'm going to apply this to set my concealer on my under eyes, on my chin, and the top of my nose going to my forehead. So it's basically just the same places that I had already put my concealer. I really love this palette because I feel like it has a great variety of shades, and I like to mix them all together because some are light, some are like a little darker, like that orange toned one. So I just think they're a great variety. Next, I go in with baby powder and this Real Techniques beauty sponge. This is also damp, and I use this to set my under eye. I'm doing this specifically on my under eyes because of the fallout of the makeup I'm going to be using on my eyes. It kind of would ruin my whole foundation because of all the fallout. I do it at the bottom of my face because I want a clean cut contour and I want it to look nice and blended out, not sloppy, so that's why I do it at the bottom. And going up to my face, I just like to have a brightened center of my face look. Now I'm going in with the same Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D, and I'm going to start my contour. I'm using the bottom 3 shades. Typically I don't use that super dark shade because it's so dark on me and I have such fair skin. It doesn't typically look good. So right now I'm just blending it all out and creating the sort of look that I'm trying to go for today. The brush I'm using is just a really cheap drugstore angled brush. I think it's in the brand Luxe. It's kind of faded now, so it's hard to read. Now I'm going in with my new glow kit that I showed in my previous videos. I'm using the color Sculpt, and I'm going in with this Real Techniques kind of bigger brush. So I'm just going to tap it in there and then blend it in with the rest of my makeup. I really like using the different varieties of brushes because I think they all do a certain job. And this one for me kind of just blends in my contour with the rest of my makeup because I like to have a more natural look. Now I'm going in and I'm redefining that bottom line because I kind of brushed part of it off. And so what this is doing is kind of like showing the difference in my skin and then what I've contoured. So I want certain spots to be shaded and certain spots to stay kind of light to create definition in my face. Now I'm going to start on my eyebrows. I'm using this Anastasia Soft Brow. It's the powder. I prefer the powder to the dip brow. I just think this goes for a more natural look on your eyebrows rather than the to a point look that some people go for. I just prefer this look. I go on the outsides of my eyebrows with this darker shade, and then I work my way to the center, and then once I get to about this point right here, the center part of my eyebrow, I go in with the lighter shade, and I like to kind of draw a line where I want the eyebrow to start, and then I kind of just meet it in the middle. It's kind of a weird way to do eyebrows if you've seen anyone else do them, but it seems to work for me, so whatever. Now I'm going in with the Benefit Highbrow. This kind of highlights the underneath of my eyebrows. It kind of just gives a more bold look to the brows, I would say. Kind of shows where they stop more severe. Now I'm just kind of going back in, touching up my brows where I may have messed them up. I'm going in with this Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. I'm using just one of the kind of nude colors to have a base for my eyeshadow. It kind of just gives a blank palette to your eyes and helps you start on your makeup. I'm using this shade that's literally almost out because my sister and I both use this all the time. And I'm just going to highlight over top of the highbrow that I just used to create a... Kathleen Lights is smart to do it so that she just has to do one eye. What? Kathleen Lights is smart because she only has to do one eye. Yeah. Have you ever watched her makeup tutorial? Yeah. Lighter sort of feel to underneath my eyebrow because I want it to be really defined. Next, I'm going to go in with my Morphe 35F palette and using these two shades and my E22 brush, also by Morphe, I'm just going to start to blend these shades into my eyes. I prefer to start on the edges of my eyes because they're pretty wide. And so I just start working that color kind of into the top of my lid and kind of just mixing it in to the crease just so that I have a nice start. I didn't really get any on my actual eyelids except on the edges because it doesn't really matter if you do or not because I'm just going to go over top of it with the glitter. Next, I'm going in with this Morphe M433 brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit darker of a shade to the edge of my eyelid, and I'm just going to blend that into the crease a little more than the other color. I like doing this because I like having a really blended look, and I like it when it starts off dark closer to your eye and then gets a little lighter as you go closer to the eyebrow and the outer edges of your face. Now I'm going in with this Morphe M441 brush. It has longer bristles, so it's easier for blending than brushes with short bristles. What I'm doing now is I'm taking a little bit of a lighter color and I'm just mixing it all together so it looks nice and blended. I don't have any harsh lines. Now I'm going to start on my lid with this purple shimmery color. This has a ton of fallout, so I'm going to go in with this Fix Plus, spray my brush. I'm just using a cheap e.l.f. brush for this, by the way. And I'm going to dip it in the purple sparkles and just start putting that all over my lid. I'm just doing this on my lid because I don't really want all of that glitter all over my lid, and I like having the difference in like the matte tones and the shimmer tones on my eye. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of like smearing it. The reason I used the Fix Plus was because it helps the glitter in the shimmer in the eyeshadow to stick better. So now I'm going in with this, I'm not sure what brush this is. This is just some random e.l.f. brush. Also, it's a little angled. And I'm going to use this pink shimmery shadow, and I'm just going to kind of blend that one in with the dark purple because the purple is a little darker than I wanted it. So I'm just going to go kind of over top of the purple with this lighter pink tone. Now I'm going in with this really light color for my inner eyes with that same brush that I just used to apply that pink. And I'm just going to start at the corner of my eye and blend it towards that purpley pink thing that I've got going on. I'm doing this because I want to have a bright eye look while still kind of having a little bit of a smoky look. Now I'm going in with this Sephora brush. It's supposed to be like a concealer brush, I think, but I prefer it for this because it's kind of a little harder than most eyeshadow brushes are. So I'm just applying a really, really light shade, the lightest shade that I have, to the corner of my eye to brighten up my eyes and make sure that I have a nice sort of flow of color going on. I'm using this Tarte brush to clean up my crease. I got a little bit of glitter in there. It's kind of like an ugly line right now of where my shimmery shadows and my matte shadows meet, and so I just use that to kind of blend out the line / create a barrier between the shimmer and the matte shadows. Now I'm going back in with my Morphe M433 brush to darken up the corners just because they may have gotten messed up while I was doing my shimmers, and I'm using that same M441 brush by Morphe to blend out the entire look. I hate it when it looks messy and unblended, so I always make sure that I blend until it looks good. Now I'm going to wipe away my powder underneath my eyes with this huge brush that I got at TJ Maxx. I don't know what brand it was, but I got it a really long time ago for $10, which is a really good deal. I don't need that powder under my eyes anymore because the reason that I put it there was for the fallout that was going to come from my eyeshadows, and so now that I'm done with my eyeshadow, I can get rid of it. Now I'm doing my under eye with this color that I used kind of to blend into my upper lid, and I'm just going to put this sort of right below my waterline. I prefer to use powders for my under eye rather than like eyeliners because my eyes are really wet all the time. So eyeliner just comes off right away. I have not found an eyeliner that will stay on my eyes. So I just prefer to use eyeshadows underneath my eye, mostly for that reason, but also because I think it opens up your eyes a little more, which is kind of a funny term to use for eyes. But I think it just gives your eyes a little bit of a brighter, larger feel. And who doesn't want, brighter eyes? So what I'm doing now is I'm using that Tarte brush to kind of blend in a lighter shade into the crease of my eye. And I'm just going to blend it until it's the shade, the consistency, everything that I like. Now I'm going in with my Sephora smudge brush again, darkening up the corner of my eye just because I wanted it to be darker, more dramatic. Now I'm just blending everything out with my Morphe M441 brush, my favorite brush. And now I'm curling my lashes, getting ready to put mascara on them. I kind of curl them in a weird way, if you can tell. I kind of like twist them back and forth just because my eyes are pretty wide, and so I have to kind of stretch it out. So now I'm taking off that bottom powder because I am almost done with my makeup and I want to do that before my mascara so none of it messes up my mascara. And I'm going to go in with this Too Faced, it smells like chocolate, but it's a bronzer. It's pretty good. And I'm just going to bronze up my face after all that white powder was on it. Now I'm using my Jaclyn Hill. Oh my word, I love this palette. It's the Jaclyn Hill face palette. It's from her collaboration with Becca Cosmetics. And I'm using the shade Pamplemousse. And it's a pretty bright color, but I think if you blend it enough, it'll come out to be a pretty kind of actually light shade of pink. And I'm just going to apply this to kind of the pointy parts of my cheeks, just because that's where I like to put it, creating a pinky look. And now I'm spraying with MAC Fix Plus spray. Everybody uses this for everything. I know I do. And the mascara I'm using is actually a really cheap Ulta mascara. It's $10 and it is called Twisted Volume. It's a knockoff of my very favorite mascara by Too Faced. So I like to use this just because it's a ton cheaper and it works not really just as good, but good enough. So I didn't show you my whole mascara routine because that would take years. Now I'm just kind of wiping, blending everything together because who wants makeup lines? I'm using this Morphe M501 brush, and I'm going in with the shade Stunner from my Tarte Glow Kit, and I'm going to apply this to the high parts of my cheekbones and going up kind of into that weird spot on the outside of my eyebrow up to my forehead, just because those are the parts that people typically like to highlight, and right above my brow bone. I love highlighter because it kind of brightens up your whole makeup look and helps you kind of make your statement, and I love that. I'm applying it to the center of my nose all the way down just to add, the drama effect. What I like to do is spray Fix Plus all over my face when I'm done with my makeup, and then I kind of like to pat in my highlight once it's on my face just to kind of help it blend in more, because blending is what makeup is all about. I'm using this Kyliner in Exposed because that is my favorite Kylie lip color ever since I got my first one like 3 days ago. And I'm just going to line the outer edges of my lips. I like to overdraw them a little bit just because my lips are kind of weirdly shaped on the edges, so I like to go a little bit above. And then I'm going in with my Mariah Carey. Oh my word, I love this packaging. It has a little butterfly on the thing too. And I'm using the shade McKizzle, and I love it. These are the perfect colors for nude lips. Perfect.
So yeah, here's my makeup. Girl, check out that highlight though.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye.